All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with another 49er draft video. Justin Mello, according to Justin Mello of the Draft Network, the 49ers hosted a dinner with defensive tackle from the University of Texas, Keondre Coburn. And the Niners are not the only team interested in the fifth-year senior. The Niners, the Saints, the Titans, Tampa Bay, all showing interest, and I'm sure there's other teams around the NFL that are interested in this two-gapper, because that's what he is. He's a two-gapper. I've watched Texas an awful lot the last few years. This guy's a nose tackle, and it seems like Texas, it's amazing. Certain programs produce the same players over and over and over again, and you get a chance to see, their version of the same player every year. One of the positions at the University of Texas always seems like they have is really, really strong, stout, highly rated recruits at the interior defensive line position. And here comes Koburn, nose tackle, natural strength. And that's what I love about him more than anything. The guy's strong as an ox. He plays with that functional strength and power. You can see it. This guy can split a double team block like the best in college football. I mean, you combo block Keondre Coburn, he's strong enough to hold up. 29 tackles this year, 4 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles in 13 games in 2022 as a fifth-year senior. And for his career, 93 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. 16 would be incredible for a guy who plays the run this well. This guy is a self-proclaimed team-first player. He went to high school in Houston, Texas at Westfield High School and, was named by the Houston Athletic Club as the Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. A lot of teams around college football, a lot of schools wanted Keondre Coburn. He was a 4-star recruit. He was heavily recruited. Everybody wanted him. He's 6'1", about 6'1", almost 6'2", 6'1" and 5/8, 332 pounds. And then he went to Indianapolis at the Combine, and his numbers were good. He ran 5.22, 27.5-inch vertical, which at 332 pounds is a lot of lower body explosion. Showed good upper body strength, 24 reps at 225. What he really is he's a 2-down run stuffer with a quick first step. I've heard people, make a number of different comparisons. Dan Williams, I would say he's a little bit like a DJ Jones. 4 seasons at the University of Texas. Last year, he really showed some pass rush ability. He had 31 pressures last year in the pass rush and 4 sacks, according to Pro Football Focus. He was second team All Big 12 as a redshirt senior. So, to me, that is a lot of the same traits that we saw with DJ Jones, we see here with Coburn. Incredibly naturally strong. This guy's strong. If you walked up to him in May, he's equally strength and power if you see him in January. My point is, he's not one of these weight room strength guys. He has functional strength, and this is his 332 pounds. That's not like a pumped up. He doesn't have to, he's not a natural 315-pound guy who gets up to 332 in season and then, fluctuates back down to 310. He is a guy that's his walking around weight. He's a shade under 6'2". He's 330 pounds, and it's natural, and he carries his weight naturally. Guys who fluctuate in weight up and down tend to have short-lived careers, because you're just constantly, I've got to lift and lift and eat and eat and lift and lift and eat and eat just to get to my playing weight. This guy's walk around weight is very similar to his playing weight. Now, there's some mock drafts that have him gone by 99. There's no chance that the Niners are going to trade up for Keondre Coburn because defensive tackle is not their primary need. But if he's on the board there when they pick with the compensatory picks, 99, 101, 102, end of third round, this might be a very, very good value. I say he's like DJ. Why is he like DJ? Well, he's a 2-down run stuffer. He's got natural strength. He's a 2-gapper. But like DJ, he gives you a little bit more as a pass rusher than you would think of a 6'1", 330-pound defensive lineman or defensive tackle would. He's a true two-gapper. He's a true two-down run stuffer. But the difference is the feet. He's got great feet, great quickness. And you see that on film when you watch him on slants, on stunts, on twists. When you're moving the pot, when you're moving him, and then you're playing games up front. This is a guy who can anchor and play games up front. So, combination of factors I really love for Keondre Coburn. One, he's got short area agility that's off the charts. So he's very agile in a short area. He's naturally strong and can two gap and be that guy who absorbs offensive linemen. Who's going to love this guy? Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Marcelino McCrary Ball. The Niners undersized but fast linebackers who like to pursue and run and be kept free. This is the guy who's keeping blockers off those guys. This is the guy that prevents those guards from climbing to the second level and picking off a Fred Warner. So he's a very valuable guy. He may not make a ton of tackles, but he's going to absorb blockers, be active, and then he gives you a little bit more quickness. To me, it's the combination of the natural strength, the short area agility, the first step quickness, and then the high revving motor. He's got a really high revving motor. This guy loves to play football, and he's playing hard at all times. And he understands what his role is. His role is to win on first and second down, to absorb blockers, to keep them off of his backers, to make plays in the run game, and to get teams into third and long. If you can make teams one-dimensional in football, you got a great chance to win. Koburn understands his role. And then last year, I thought, man, he really took his game up a level from just being a plugger to this guy can pressure the quarterback, and he's got great ability to shoot with agility off blocks, and he doesn't get tied up on blocks. He's a little short-armed. He's a little more compact. He's definitely not, one of these guys that has these crazy long arms, is going to have, that kind of leverage from playing with the long arms. He's a little bit shorter armed than you want to see. But to me, the combination of the foot quickness, the agility, the high revving motor, and the natural strength with the great feet, I really like this player. I really do. I think this guy was second team All Big 12 as a senior, and just got. What I also liked is I like to see players who get better, because if you get better, that means you're working at it. And this guy got a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. Now, let's talk about the 49er defensive line. The starters inside are going to be Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead. Then you've got Javon Kinlaw, who did not have his fifth-year option picked up. You have T.Y. McGill. You've got Kevin Givens. And you got Kalia Davis, who I really love. So you're already six deep at defensive tackle. But there's also a lot of speculation that that last year could have been Javon Kinlaw's last year with the Niners, and they may trade him during draft weekend. I think that's a possibility. Or there's a very good chance that this is his last year with the 49ers, and Koburn could be drafted as the 1 year prior replacement for Javon. In a lot of ways, Koburn, the one thing with the 49ers, that guy who's a double team, who's a two gapper, who commands the double team, who absorbs offensive linemen. That guy is actually really vital in a defensive front, to have a guy an anchor point. Now, Armstead's phenomenal at it. We saw Kinlaw get moved in the Philly game and towards the end of the year. If you got Koburn in there, he's probably going to play in a rotation, especially as a rookie. He's probably going to play first and second down, the obvious rundowns. But he's a guy who can hold his ground at the point of attack and give you, like DJ did, a high revving motor, a smart player, a hard worker, and a guy who can play in a rotation. So I see him potentially as a replacement for Kinlaw. If you look at the Niners, Givens is a gap shooter. Hargrave is a gap shooter. When I say they're not two gappers, they're one gap penetrators who get up the field and rush the passer. That's what Hargrave did at South Carolina State. That's what he's going to do for the Niners. That's what Givens does. That's what T.Y. McGill is. That's what Kalia Davis is. So of their interior guys, really the only guy who's outside of Armstead, who's Armstead has got great functional strength. In a lot of ways, Armstead can do it all. He can rush the passer. He can put heat on the quarterback. He can bat down passes, but he also really anchors against the run. This would give the 49ers another player inside that anchors against the interior run. The one area where the 49ers really were disappointing last year just on defense, despite the fact they had this all-world defense with all this incredible talent, is they weren't great at the run, short yardage run between the tackles. And that is a direct result of not having DJ Jones and the ineffectiveness at times of Kinlaw to anchor against the run. Keondre Coburn will give them that anchor player against the run. So really like this player. In a lot of ways, he's not the kind of guy that's going to sack the quarterback a ton. He's not going to be, a guy that is among the league leaders in sacks. What he's going to be, though, is an incredibly effective, valuable player who's going to be Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw's best friend, and a guy that I think is going to be the replacement for Javon Kinlaw inside. And if they can get him, in the late third round, I think it's great value. I think he's the kind of player that could go anywhere from the middle of the high third round to the middle of the fifth round. The league's become more of a pass rush game and less of the run pluggers have less value as time goes on. So this guy may fall a little bit. And he may be sitting there at 99. He may be on the board at 101 and 102 when the Niners pick at the end of round 3. And if he is, he's great value. Remember that name on draft day, Keondre Coburn from the Texas Longhorns, as they say, hook 'em horns. All right, hope you enjoyed the Niner draft video. Make sure you check out Pig in a Pickle, the sponsor of the Krug Show. They got 2 locations in Emeryville and Corte Madera. And make sure you keep it on the Krug Show throughout draft season, leading into Niner season for all of your top-tier Niner coverage right here on YouTube.